When we were hit with this homeless situation, I was very sad because I had nowhere to put my studio things. There were even times where me and my sister, we just used to go to the storage and sleep at the storage because sometimes it didn't make sense going back where we were staying. And the treatment there was just so emotionally and mentally abusive that we would just stay outside for as long as we could. Only go back where we were staying when night fell because everybody's sleeping and it's time to sleep, so nobody's really gonna harass you or ill treat you or anything like that. But when the place was full and people were around and we didn't feel comfortable to be around them, we would just stay outside for as long as we could. We would go to the park sometimes, sit down and just be with each other talking, until we got tired, or just go to the public storage facility, like I said, honestly, and take little naps there. I even started to take extra hours on my job. And when I get off work, I would just go upstairs to the cafeteria and go to sleep at work. And I would stay there for hours and then pick up a next shift, and these are things that we didn't bother to tell anybody, tell any peers. We didn't tell any peers. We didn't tell any family members what we were going through, because at the end of the day, you go to tell people your business and they just spit it back out at you and make you feel worse than you already feel. So we just, we kept it to ourselves, and, we would go to work, keep a smile on our face. No one at work knows our business. But it was a very, very depressing time. So I ended up feeling defeated, and I'm like, damn, I should just go back to Carriacou and make a career out of like soca music, and see where it would take me. I was looking up to the artists that I grew up on at the time. My favorite artists are Alison Hines, Faye and Lyons, and I'm looking up to them. I love these ladies. And I'm like, they're singing soca. They're living they look like they're living their best life and just, being a soca artist. So why can't I do that? My parents are saying music is not a job, but look, they're doing it. They're traveling the world, touring, singing, and they don't look like they're homeless. I'm homeless. I'm not being properly taken care of. And they don't look like they're dealing with homelessness. They look like they're actually living and enjoying life. So I was like, I don't see why I can't try to make it in that field and genre that I love so much. So I'm going to do just that.
Since I small, me mommy said, don't go down there, don't go down there.